he's firing, dude. He's opening that Helldivers 2 flamethrower, and he's burning the terminids of pretend protectors of Jews. Oh my lord, oh my lord. The Reichstag is burning and not a single bullet was fired. Oh lord, the least base Greek. Okay, now let's look at our second favorite chuds after the Americans, and that is who? The Germans. You've probably seen coverage of what exactly happened in Berlin, but some people got banned, including, I found out today, Yanis Varoufakis, one of our beautiful chatters, even said that he had his money frozen because he wanted to speak on a platform that is obviously pro-Palestine. It's our boy Yanis. He never misses, okay? He never misses.
This is Yanis Varoufakis. This speech was meant to be transmitted, broadcast, spoken live during the Palestine Congress in Berlin, Friday, the 12th of April.
Just a classic Balkanoid, you know?
But because the German
least-based Balkanoid, Yanis Varoufakis.
Police, egged on by the whole of the political...
Are you jealous of me that I can pronounce his name properly? Yanis Varoufakis. Now, Yanis Varoufakis. Yanis Varoufakis, indeed.
...system of the Federal Republic of Germany burst in and prevented Jews, Palestinians, and the rest of us who wanted to have a Congress during which to discuss peace, reconciliation, coexistence, universal human rights from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. German police proved beyond reasonable doubt by bursting in and interrupting the live stream, grabbing the microphone, ending that magnificent Congress, that fascism does not need to win government in order to be in power. So allow me to say what I was going to say if the live stream was not so rudely interrupted by German coppers. Friends, congratulations and heartfelt thanks for being here, even though we were interrupted. Despite the threats, despite the police state, despite the panoply of the German press, despite the German political system that demonizes you for being here today. Why a Palestinian Congress, Mr. Varoufakis? A German journalist asked me recently. Because, as Hanan Ashrawi once said, we cannot rely on the silenced to tell us about their suffering.
Remember the joke we used to make, like there can be no censorship thanks to the internet? Now they will literally come into your house and they will stop the fucking live stream. And this is like a liberal democracy. This is the peak of an advanced state. I mean, I joke, but god damn it, like German cops gonna be German copping, you know? They got their heritage and that heritage will never go away. And even a country that like whose police force is so obsessed with optics, doing this shows how in love Germany is with selling more arms to Israel, yes, baby. And now, obviously, they just hate brown people and they export their feelings of inadequacy and self-depreciation based on what they did in World War II, and they export it over on the Palestinian civilian and the pro-Palestinian, even Jew in this case, okay? That is why it's so important, and thank you so much for our Jewish brothers and sisters who encourage anti-Zionist thinking, because Zionism again has absolutely nothing to do with being Jewish. But thanks to your voices, we can avoid the constant screaming of and accusations of anti-Semitism that have absolutely no backing.
Today, Hanan Ashrawi's reason has grown depressingly stronger. Because we cannot rely on the silenced who are also massacred and starved to tell us about the massacres and the starvation. But there's another reason too. Because a decent people, the people of Germany, are being led down a perilous road to a heartless society by being made to associate themselves with another genocide.
There is an argument to be made, and this is a very controversial argument that arguably I'm going to be made. We were warned for years by even academics and intellectuals in the left that the state, once it issues a law which forbids a certain type of speech, will inadvertently, because it is a bourgeois state, use that very same law to continue its dominance, right? And very legitimate laws, which were installed in the country that caused the death of 6 million Jews and over, I think it was 15 million others, Slavs, gay people, communists, etc., black people, is using currently this exact law against anti-Semitism to pursue people that have absolutely nothing to do with anti-Semitism, right? So it is a topic I'm kind of, wiggly about, exactly because we are seeing how it is being utilized by the bourgeois state itself. So it's complex.
Side carried out
Wonderful,
again
a new
in their
child
name
soldier.
with their
Subscriber.
complicity. I'm neither Jewish nor Palestinian, with Palestinian voices for peace and universal human rights. Being together here today, even though we were so rudely interrupted by German police. Being together here is proof that coexistence is not only possible,
Yugopnik.
but that it is here already. Why not a Jewish Congress, Mr. Varoufakis? The same German journalist asked me, imagining that he was being smart. I welcomed his question. For if a single Jew is threatened anywhere, just because she or he is Jewish, I shall wear the Star of David on my lapel and offer my solidarity, whatever the cost, whatever it takes. So let's be clear. If Jews were under attack anywhere in the world, I would be the first to canvass for a Jewish Congress in which to register our solidarity. Similarly,
And this is kind of nice to say, but at this point, dude, why specifically do we have to be so, because of the sins of the West, which are absolutely fucking horrendous and maybe the worst thing that has ever happened in history, also known as the Holocaust, why does the rest of us have to constantly say that the reason we don't like an apartheid state is not because we're anti-Semitic? Fuck you. You are the one currently murdering people. Why do I have to always say that I'm not anti-Semitic when I'm obviously just targeting a state, completely disregarding what their religious or ethnic background is? But obviously it is the militarization by the Zionist state of a very real thing called anti-Semitism to use in order for itself to protect itself from any potential critics. But I'm saying just reject the fucking premise. Reject the premise because, again, Zionism has nothing to do with being Jewish. So fuck you. I don't even have to say it. I don't have to constantly say that my anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitic because I reject any connection between those two.
when Palestinians are massacred because they are Palestinians, under the dogma that to be dead and Palestinian must mean that you are Hamas, I shall wear my keffiyeh and offer my solidarity, whatever the cost, whatever it takes, to the people of Palestine. Universal human rights, folks, are either universal or they are nothing. With this in mind, I answered the journalist's question with a few questions of my own. Were 2 million Israeli Jews thrown out 80 years ago from their homes into an open-air prison and kept for those 80 years in that open-air prison without access to the outside world, with minimal food and water?
You will die immediately if you get drafted. I'm sorry. Of course, dude. They will have my profile. They'll send all the commies to run first, okay?
No chance of a normal life, no opportunity to travel, and being bombed periodically for 80 years? No. Are Israeli Jews being starved intentionally by an army of occupation? Their children writhing on the floor, screaming from hunger? No. Are there thousands of Jewish injured children with no surviving parents crawling through the rubble as we speak, the rubble of what used to be their homes? No. Are Israeli Jews being bombed by the world's most sophisticated aeroplanes and bombs today? No. Are Israeli Jews experiencing complete ecocide of what little land they can still call their own? Not one tree left under which to seek shade or whose fruit to taste? No. Are Israeli Jewish children being killed today? No. By snipers at the orders of a member state of the United Nations? No. Are Israeli Jews driven out of their homes by armed gangs today? No. Is Israel fighting for its existence today? No. If the answer to any of these questions,
I mean, an argument could be made that a colonial state without killing absolutely everybody and replacing absolutely everybody de facto can only exist through colonialization, therefore is fighting for its existence as an apartheid state and as a colonial project. But, we're just doing a little bit of trolling.
had been yes, I would be participating in a Jewish solidarity Congress today. Friends, today, we would have loved to have a decent, democratic, mutually respectful debate on how to bring peace about, on how to bring universal human rights for everyone, Jews and Palestinians, Bedouins and Christians, from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, and to have this debate with people who think differently to us. We would have loved that. Sadly, as the German police just proven, and the whole of the German political system has been trying to do now for weeks to ban our conference, they did not allow this.
Which is also additionally very stupid, because now this has 333,000 views, okay? If you just went to the conference, just like hundreds of conferences that he goes to, not necessarily. Wouldn't get like 1/10 of this, and we all fucking know this. If you got a fucking notification or just another pro-Palestinian conference somewhere in Western Europe, yeah, there's like 100 of them. You probably wouldn't watch. Now we're watching it on the best stream on Twitch, so,
Indeed, the whole of the political spectrum, from the CDU and CSU to the FDP, to the SPD, the Greens, and remarkably, to leaders of Die Linke in Berlin. Shame on you, comrades. Shame on you. They all joined forces to ensure that our civilized debate may be within. A debate in which we may disagree agreeably never takes place in Berlin, never takes place in Germany. I say to them, you want to silence us, to ban us, to demonize us, to accuse us. You therefore leave us with no choice but to meet your ridiculous accusations with very logical, fair accusations of our own. You chose this, not us. You accuse us of anti-Semitic hatred. We accuse you of being the anti-Semite's best friend when you equate the right of Israel to commit war crimes with the right of Israeli Jews to defend themselves. You accuse us of supporting terrorism. We accuse you of equating legitimate resistance to an apartheid state with atrocities against civilians, which I have always and will always condemn, whomever commits them, Palestinians, Jewish settlers, my own family, whomever. We accuse you of not recognizing the duty of the people of Gaza to tear down the wall of the open prison in which they've been encased, confined for 80 years, and of equating this act of tearing down the wall of shame, which is no more defensible, remember, than the Berlin Wall was, with acts of terror. You accuse us of trivializing Hamas's October 7th attacks. We accuse you of
Gorbachev, tear down that wall. No, not you, Netanyahu, not you, the other guy, not you though. That we like that one. That wall, nice.
Trivializing the 80 years of Israel's ethnic cleansing of Palestinians and the erection of an unclad apartheid system across Israel and Palestine. We accuse you of trivializing Netanyahu's long-term support of Hamas, a support that Netanyahu has lent Hamas as a means of destroying the two-state solution that you claim to favor. We accuse you of trivializing the unprecedented terror unleashed by the Israeli army on the people of Gaza, in the West Bank, in East Jerusalem. You accuse the organizers of today's Congress that we are, and I quote from your text, not interested in talking about possibilities for peaceful coexistence in the Middle East against the background of the war in Gaza. Are you serious? Have you lost your mind? We accuse you of supporting a German state that is, after the United States, the largest supplier of the weapons that the Netanyahu regime uses to massacre Palestinians as part of a grand plan.
And through that, directly participating in the ethnic cleansing campaign, which absolutely cannot be denied. I like what he's doing here, throwing back the exact same argumentation back at the German state. But it's just a continuous and additional, play on the hardcore hypocrisy, which, us on on the left pretty much are very accustomed to knowing, but it can get libs over on the side. So it's good. It's good. I like it.
To make a two-state solution and peaceful coexistence between Jews and Palestinians absolutely impossible. We accuse you of never answering the pertinent question that every German must answer. How much Palestinian blood must flow before your justified guilt over the Holocaust is washed away?
Fuck yeah.
So let's be clear.
Fuck. He's fucking firing, dude. He's opening that Helldivers 2 fucking flamethrower, and he's burning the terminids of pretend protectors of Jews. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. The Reichstag is burning and not a single bullet was fired. Oh lord, the least base Greek.
We're here in Berlin with our
old
Palestinian Congress, which your police state has disrupted and banned. We are here, nevertheless, because unlike the German political system and the German state and the German media, we condemn genocide and war crimes regardless of who is perpetrating them. Just as we opposed apartheid in the American South or in South Africa, we oppose apartheid in the land of Israel, Palestine, no matter who has the upper.
I mean, that's the like the core point of this all. It doesn't matter who's doing apartheid and who's doing ethnic cleansing. It does not fucking matter. 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 Almost 15 million fucking Soviet citizens were systematically killed during World War II. Are we supposed to now allow ex-Soviet Union countries to use this argument that they can do no wrong because they had mass murder inflicted upon them whenever they go to a particular conflict? I mean, there's a particular conflict right now between two ex-Soviet states, and we're not hearing anybody use this particular thing. Or if they do use it, it's somewhere in the fucking background and nobody gives a shit because it's fucking insane. As insane as it should sound coming from the mouth of, again, an apartheid colonial state such as Israel. Like, this is... It doesn't matter if a Jew or a black person or of a white Aryan is doing the killing. It's the fucking killing that's the fucking problem, and the fucking system of apartheid that's the fucking problem. How fucking basic is this?
Hand. Because we stand for universal human rights, freedom and equality among Jews, Palestinians, Bedouins, and Christians in the ancient land of Palestine. And so that we're even clearer on the questions that journalists or politicians put to us, legitimate or malignant. Let me be clear. Do I condemn Hamas's atrocities? I condemn every single atrocity, whomever is the perpetrator or the victim. What I do not condemn, and I will never condemn, is armed resistance to an apartheid system designed as part of a slow-burning but inexorable ethnic cleansing program. Put differently, I condemn every attack on civilians, while at the same time, I celebrate anyone who risks their life to tear down the wall of shame. Is Israel not engaged in a war for its very existence, as some say? No, it is not. Israel is a nuclear-armed state with perhaps the most technologically advanced army in the world, and the panoply of the United States military machine having its back. There is no symmetry.
But of course there is no symmetry, and of course, but this is like the perfect argument that they get to use because, well, let's be honest, racism. Israel, in the eyes of most people in the Western Hemisphere, gets to get away with everything it's doing because Israel itself is pitched to them as the only civilized state in the Middle East, a civilized state surrounded by hungry, evil, brown barbarians. And therefore, Israel does not have to follow the rules that apparently, even though we don't follow them, we follow here in the West. And therefore, anything that Israel does, Israel only does to protect itself from the evil hordes that haunt it throughout its history, etc., etc. It's like a argument created by Israeli PR and, most importantly, American PR, because they know their fucking audience, and their audience is deeply, deeply, deeply biased against any Middle Eastern state, or for that matter, any Middle Eastern nation, except that of the settler colonial project of Israel.
With Hamas. Hamas is a group which can cause and has caused serious damage to Israelis, but which has no capacity whatsoever to defeat Israel's military, or even to prevent Israel from continuing to implement the slow genocide, not so slow these days, of Palestinians under the system of apartheid that has been erected with long-standing American, German, and European Union support. Are Israelis not justified to fear that Hamas wants to exterminate them? Of course they are. Jews have suffered a Holocaust. A Holocaust that was preceded with pogroms and a deep-seated anti-Semitism.
Are Russians not allowed to fear the Ukrainians, which in such large numbers supported the Nazis in World War II, from the potential genocide that is going to ensue upon their people in the eastern Ukraine? 95% of people sitting are like, it's a flimsy fucking thing to say. But Israelis get to use that and we're all, yes, please, more Palestinian blood. Please, more Palestinian blood. What the fuck?
Permeating the whole of Europe and the Americas for centuries. It is only natural that Israelis...
Oh, Turks in chat. Hello, Turks in chat. Oh, Ottoman Empire did many... Serbian ultranationalists, during the post-Yugoslav war, literal argument was the Ottomans for 400, 500 years raped, pillaged, enslaved, and mass murdered us. All true. I'm sorry, all fucking true. But then we get to use that as an argument to go and fucking mass murder Bosnian Muslims? What the fuck are you talking about? And everybody reacted the same way. What the fuck are you talking about? But when Israel uses, we were victims of a very real Holocaust, that's why we get to mass murder other people, they were like, oh yeah, based, yes, absolutely makes great fucking sense. No, that's just fucking stupid.
Live in fear of a new pogrom if the Israeli army falls. I understand that. That's perfectly understandable. However, by imposing apartheid on their...
Yeah, it's like you have a free genocide card for having suffered a genocide in the past. Well, then almost every nation on planet Earth except France, UK, and, whites in the United States have just a free genocide card. It's... Why do I have to sit here and say that this is insane? This should be fucking so off. God.
Palestinian neighbors by treating them like Untermenschen.
Yeah, why can't we point out black suffering throughout history, go and slaughter some people? Yeah, fuck yeah.
Subhumans. The Israeli state is stoking the fires of anti-Semitism. It is strengthening those Palestinians and Israelis.
Yeah, Muslim reverse crusade. Yeah, why jihad so scary?
Just to annihilate each other.
Do you remember the Crusades, bro? ICE is good because remember the Crusades, bro? That's why I don't even want to engage in this. When somebody comes in the comments, I'm like, understand.
And in the end, apartheid contributes to the awful insecurity consuming Jews in Israel and the diaspora. To put it bluntly, apartheid against Palestinians is the Israelis' worst self-defense. What about anti-Semitism? Anti-Semitism is always a clear and present danger, a danger that must be eradicated, especially amongst the ranks of the global left and the Palestinians fighting for Palestinian civil liberties, everywhere. Others ask, why don't Palestinians pursue their objectives by peaceful means? They did. The PLO recognized Israel, even though Israel never recognized Palestine.
Why doesn't Palestine just do a bit of entrepreneurship? Why don't they make skyscrapers and corporations? Why don't they have a great tourist industry that could help them? Yes, the free market shall regulate everything, even apartheid. We are very smart commentators.
And the PLO famously renounced armed struggle. And what did they get for it? Absolute humiliation and systematic ethnic cleansing. In the West Bank, it's going on as we speak. That is what nurtured Hamas and elevated Hamas in the eyes of many Palestinians, as the only alternative to the genocide of the Palestinian people under Israel's apartheid. What should be done now? What might bring peace to Israel?
All that beach real estate, what a waste. Which is ironically what some Zionists fucking say. We need to take it away from them because they don't know how to manage it. While also simultaneously using it as a dumpster for literal poop because they don't give them a sewer system.
Palestine. First, an immediate, unconditional ceasefire. Second, the release of all hostages, Hamas's hostages, and the thousands of hostages held by Israel.
Exactly.
That
Agreed.
must be the first step towards a peace process under the auspices of the United Nations, supported by a commitment.
But Yanis, you're not thinking about the prime real estate in Palestine, okay? Palestinian lives versus prime real estate. If you really calculated 30 to 40,000 Palestinians versus, $40 billion worth of prime real estate, we would like to take that exchange ratio. Thank you very much. Signed, Global Capital.
By the international community to end apartheid and to safeguard equal civil liberties and equal political rights for everyone, for all. What should replace Israeli apartheid? Well, that must be left to Israelis and Palestinians to decide between the two-state solution and the solution of a single federal secular state. But under the condition that the international community has made it clear to everyone that there will be equal political rights and equal civil liberties from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. Friends, in the final analysis, we are here because
the dog whistling, though, to more radical supporters of Palestine. From the river to this, it's pretty. He's not a dumb guy, okay. Least smart Greek, okay. Our great Greek Voldemort king, right? Most based democratic socialist, okay.
Vengeance is a lazy form of grief. We're here to promote not vengeance, but peace and coexistence across Israel-Palestine. We're here to tell German Democrats, including our former comrades of Die Linke, who have been a great disappointment, that they have covered themselves in shame long enough. That two wrongs do not one right make. That allowing Israel to get away with the war crimes is not going to ameliorate the legacy of Germany's crimes against the Jewish people. Beyond today's Congress, we have a duty, in Germany in particular, to change the conversation. We have a duty to persuade the vast majority of decent Germans out there that universal human rights is what matters. That never again means never again for anyone, Jew, Palestinian, Ukrainian, Russian, Yemeni, Sudanese, Rwandan, for everyone, everywhere. In this context, I am pleased to announce that DiEM25's German political party, Mera25, will be on the ballot paper in the European Parliament elections this coming June in Germany. Mera25 Germany will be seeking the vote of German humanists who crave...
They're so gonna ban that shit. They're so gonna ban that shit. Right now, putting bets. DiEM25 ain't fucking running in Germany. If they're fucking closing fucking live streams and gatherings because of this incredibly mild fucking commentary on the genocide of the Palestinian people, that dude, DiEM is not running in the fucking thing.
If at least one member of European Parliament representing Germany and calling out the European Union's complicity in genocide, a complicity that is Europe's greatest gift to the anti-Semites in Europe and beyond. I salute you all, and I suggest that we never forget that none of us is free if one of us is in chains. Carpe diem.
Carpe diem, beauty. Thank you very much to Yanis Varoufakis. As always, he does really fuckis. He
Friends, hello.
fuckis really good. He's really